Once again, I'm Ishkayo Maganiel, and thank you all for coming out to today's presentation on the power of preparedness. Do you have that P.O.P? That's what that P.O.P stands for, the power of preparedness. Once again, we come under the auspices of the Israelite Community Vision Council Survival and Protection Team of the Strategic Planning Committee. Shalom, shalom. And before we get started, I just want to say that, as we come out of Shavuot, we come out transformed into a better version of ourselves. We come out changed in this new year, during our Pesach and Feast of Unleavened Bread season, in recollecting our history of not following the instructions and the end result. The past of our diasporic journeys, our Hebraic pioneers that have begun the restoration of our people. We continue to remember to have that power of preparedness. This is going to be a bit lengthy, not too lengthy, I pray, but it's necessary, because once again, when we do not forget, when we forget, then we know historically our Tanakh, which is a book of our story, of our culture, book of instructions. And it also talks about what happens when we don't follow those instructions. Okay, once again, this is being recorded, so I truly would appreciate it if we could do ourselves that honor. Toda. That power of preparedness. Now, the need for our people to be able to respond in timely and effective ways to day-to-day challenges, as well as severe emergencies, has highlighted the need for preparation in ways that reduce risk and increase the capacity for resilient and adaptive response and recovery. Before we continue, also must make you aware that this information today is applicable universally. As a lot of our people make way out of Babylon and the various, our families of the diaspora leave their prospective places and return back to the motherland, just remember that we are in developmental stages. So some of the same situations that you may leave here, some of them at different levels will be there. But the power of preparedness is also the power of togetherness, the people of people ecology. And that's why people of like spirit will work together to be successful, continue to be successful, because we're already successful. Our presentation first will address the challenges to preparedness that people experience. We'll then discuss how spiritual, social, psychological constructs and theories can be pressed into service. This is where we need to work together because of the fact that we come from different experiences, and our success will be determined based on how well we work together, or lack thereof. We have to provide understanding of how to facilitate the development of core elements of the definition of preparedness, encouraging people's ability to anticipate their possible hazardous futures and facilitating the development of preparedness for likely events. As we know, the news, whether TV, radio, or social media, can appear daunting and doomsdayish. The cultural instabilities, economic crisis, wars, and other global issues. We learn about the need for spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical health reassessment. It certainly raises concern for and about individual, familial, community, and national responsibilities to and with the Most High, as well as how we address and correct the divide within on all levels. The so-called news I have witnessed increased anxieties that can induce a sense of future hopelessness, and on the extreme cause paranoia and zealous activities. This is the reality of where we are. The paramount idea then is being prepared for what's going on and what could and how to get through it effectively. As you see at the bottom here, with the fake news, we have to check the facts. That's why it's necessary for us to continue to stay connected, to get the right knowledge, to make the right moves. Being prepared is establishing safety for yourself and your family. Psychologist Abraham Maslow presented a theory of basic needs for human development and enjoyment in order of importance. And before I go through what those needs are, just recognize that, of course, this is from a European, a Euro-Gentile mindset. However, it is applicable. We just have to, I guess, tweak it to be applicable to y'all. And we have the instructions already, again, in the Tanakh, and in just practical, using the Tanakh practically to create the proper, to get the proper results. Now, these needs, initially, of course, physiological. The second would be safety. Third, love and belonging. 4, esteem. And 5, self-actualization. Now, self-actualization being the final stage, it means success or fulfillment in your life's pursuit or purpose, which is individual and personal initially. It cannot be met without the others being met first. In preparing yourself and family first and foremost, I guess I am. Toda. Okay. In preparing yourself and family first and foremost, prepare for your physiological needs. Those physical needs are as follows: breathing. Of course, obviously that's necessary. Water, food, shelter, warmth, protection from the elements, sleep, responsible intimacy, which unfortunately this bandit calls it sex, but responsible intimacy has a broader meaning. I think you understand where I'm going with that. Believe it or not, a homeostasis, which is a sense of stability and predictability, excretion, physical health, etc. Once physical needs are met, safety is important. Safety is an umbrella term that describes many levels of needs. Safety needs include, though this list is not exhaustive, spiritual, mental, emotional needs as well. If your holistic needs are being met, then many of the physical safety needs will inadvertently be met as well. Now, have you considered your response to a sense of impending doom, anxiety, hopelessness, etc.? Well, first and foremost, we must evaluate our core beliefs. And this is the basis of where it starts, because it starts inside first and works its way out. What kind of foundation of values, beliefs, standards, spirituality, etc. do you base your life on? What you need to do is to see if those beliefs help you maintain a sense of spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical security. If they don't, then you haven't gone deep enough to discover what the unshakable truths are upon which you build everything. If they are shakable, I would recommend figuring something else out that cannot be shaken. even when life challenges occur. Foundation is the key to your sense of safety. Next is your emotional and mental safety. Often, if your sense of physical and spiritual safety is well established, the mental and emotional safety will automatically follow suit. However, other things help. Ask yourself these questions. Am I a pessimist or am I an optimist? Pessimist, of course, being someone that's always going to have that doomsdayish thinking that I mentioned earlier, or am I an optimist? Because I trust in Yah and I follow the instructions and I know Yah Kai, where Yah lives, then everything's going to work itself out. Do I call pessimism being a realist? What is the first thing I notice in the situation? Is it the negative or the positive? If there's truly disturbing news, which is possible, remember what your foundation is and fall back on that. Realize also that many of the current issues in the world are not influenced by your day-to-day choices, but by others who may or may not be good or wholesome people. Now, that's kind of this last sentence here is kind of loaded, because at the same time, we are responsible for each other. We are social beings. We do affect each other in many different ways. So let's, be mindful of that. Now, what we're going to go into now, that was just planting the seeds, those first 3 pages. I wanted us to get an idea of how to work from inside out, to reevaluate from inside out. That's what our seasons, our spiritual, our holy days are all about, to give us a chance to reassess, to reevaluate, introspect, reflect. So now we're going to go into some practical things that we can do when situations come up that don't work so well for us. There's a method that they call, and it comes in different forms. This is online. You can also Google this yourself, and it comes in different forms, but it's the same effect. STOP, the STOP method. STOP, S-T-O-P, is a 4-step mental checklist. You can use anytime you want or need to add calm, a burst of energy, creativity, or insight to whatever is going on in that moment, or what you may think is going to happen. The whole idea behind it is that by taking a very brief break, even less than 1 minute, you can determine the very best action to take in the moment. S stands for stop. You stop what you're doing, press the pause button on your thoughts and actions. Just slow down. T, take a few deep breaths to center yourself and bring yourself fully into the present moment. This time when situations occur, emotions are the worst things that we can allow to overtake us. It has to be logical. It has to be thought through. O, observe what is going on. Now, I mentioned, because these 4 elements of what make us the whole person is our spirit, our body, or the physical, our emotions, which help us determine how high or low we respond to something in our minds, the thought process, the decision-making. So our spirit, in that moment when you slow down, you have to quickly ask yourself, is it in negative fear, that paralyzing loss of faith in the Most High, or positive, as you took that deep breath and then exhaled, said a prayer, and then got moving? Your body, what physical sensations are you aware of? Touch, sight, hearing, taste, smell. And then there's the emotions. What are you feeling right now? Be honest with it and work yourself through it. Mind, the mental aspects of it. What assumptions are you making about your feelings? What is the story you're telling yourself about? Why are you having them? P, proceed. Proceed with whatever you are doing, making a conscious, intentional choice to incorporate what you just learned, which also P can stand for. Now you've planned your work, work your plan. In situations where something's going on, that you have a serious emergency, it could be a flood, it could possibly be an attack. Now, you know, we're in Babylon, talking about the US, United States of America. And these are one of the places that we know historically has never had any kind of war, with the exception of internal wars and civil wars. But we've never had bombs drop on this place. But in the season that we're in, we do recognize we have a sense of impending doom about this place, you know. So continuing on with this, it seems like a lot to do what's being discussed right now. So where do I begin? How do I, or my jurisdiction, congregation, Knesset, community, how do we stay connected? And what is a bug out bag or go bag? Yeah, I've provided a short clip on what that is. I want to share it with you. Just give me a moment.
Shalom family, I am Angie McClendon of Wilderness Bows and also the Facebook group Hebrew Businesses. So I wanted to make a little video to remind folks, yes, we know that the stimulus checks are here, yay, but please, please, please invest in your survival. I know that, you know, we want to spend money on, you know, of course, bills and household things like that, but now is the time to really prepare before things get really crazy. We see what's going on in the news. We see what's going on right outside the doors. The unfortunate situation that happened in Texas. And this is the time for people to really, really get prepared before it's too late. Before all the food is gone from the shelves, all the survival supplies are gone or at ridiculous rates, stuff like that. It's really, really important. I really want to stress, especially to my people, that, you know, it's time to really get serious about prepping, making sure your family and your household is ready at a moment's notice if things were to pop off. You know, if you get prepared now, you don't have to scramble and panic and buy unnecessary things. So a little bit more about my bug out bags. If you don't have the time, or you don't even know where to start, what to get, or you might not even know what a bug out bag is. So I guess we'll just start from there. So bug out bag is a bag full of supplies and things that you'll need to survive if you have to leave your house and bug out, if you know, have to go off the grid. You know, some people say the zombie apocalypse happens. Okay, sure. If the zombie apocalypse happens, you're gonna need a bug out bag for bugging out, or you can even use the bug out bag for bugging in. Because the bug out bags that I make for our people, well, for everybody, is that, you know, it comes with the actual bug out bag, a 2-person tent, a sleeping bag, hatchet, shovel, survival supplies, first aid supplies, lighting source, cookware, fire, all that sort of stuff. The only thing that you'll need to put in the bug out bags after I send them to you, send everything to you, is food and clothes. So, you know, it's something that once you put it together, you know what you have in it, you can set it off to the side, off in a corner in your living room or somewhere like that, and you'll have a peace of mind and know that if something pops off, you can just grab it and go, because it's already set. It has everything in it that you'll need to survive. Like, for instance, you can also use the bug out bag for like Feast of Boost because it has everything you need in it. So that's also, killing two birds with one stone. But please, please, please invest in your survival. When you look at the price of the bug out bags that I make, it's $3.30 for the basic bag, which comes with still everything you need in it. And then you have the mid bag, which is $3.90, and the deluxe bag, which is $4.95. And with those two upper bags, you're getting, solar so that you can power up your phones or your tactical flashlights, your walkie-talkies if you have them. It's just really, really, those bags are more for comfort, versus just the basics. So it's really up to you. I have a lot of pictures and videos on the Wilderness Bows Facebook page or my own personal page or the Hebrew Businesses page if you want to take a look at some of the bug out bags that I've made for our people. But yeah, DM me, ask me any questions you may have. But definitely this is the time while you can, invest in your survival and prepare for what's coming, because something is definitely coming and you need to be prepared and not wait till the last minute. I know sometimes we can get caught up, procrastinating and stuff like that, but now is not the time to be procrastinating. Get a bug out bag so that you have peace of mind. And the bug out bags are for the individuals ages 10 and up. Because say if you were to get separated, you want to have a bug out bag that is fully self-sustaining, even if you were by yourself. So you have your sleeping bag, your tent, all your supplies to start a fire. You have a stove to cook it on. You have the fire capabilities. You have all that. All you need to do is use your food bundles and you're good to go. So please check out the info that I'll put in the caption or in the comment section. DM me. This is the perfect time to, invest in your survival and get a bug out bag. So please, please, please take heed. If you know somebody that needs to get prepared, but they don't even know where to start, send them my way. I can talk about bug out bags all day. So with that, I'll say shalom and have a great day.
All right. Thank you for your time. Okay. Thank you once again for your patience. Now, can we all see the screen?
I can see the screen. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So it has now you start out with the 29 items. You can see that?
No. No,
Okay.
I don't see that.
Okay. Give me 1 second. All right.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm sorting that out, just wanted to mention that that Wilderness Bowls, for those that are on Facebook, you can see that there's a lot more to be seen on there. So you can visit that at the end of this presentation. And one, this is being recorded. And two, that if you need time, if you'd like to take some snapshots of some of the information that I'm getting ready to share, you can do that as well. So, all right, you can see that now, correct?
Yes, I see it.
Thank you. All right, so based on what our sister shared with us, I have a list of 29 items that your ultimate bug out bag should have. All right, let me go back. One, we start out here, like I said here, bug out bag, okay. The bag itself, of course, you can see the solar panel, radio, headlamp, watch, protective face, mask, goggles, dehydrated meals, meal bars, water bottles, water filter, fire starter, soap, first aid, sunscreen. Then we need multi-tools, pocket knives, shovel, duct tape, paracord, bivy sack, sleeping pad, sleeping bag, gloves, head coverings, base layers, magic cylinder, hand warmers, flask. And once again, I repeat that, you know, at the end, I've links that you can go to look into this. If nothing else, begin to look into this. I have one of these in my house here in New York. And I believe if you go to like a ready.gov site, and that's for anywhere throughout, or preparedness sites, you'll get the same information. But here they would give presentations on preparedness, and at the end they would give you the bag like you see there in the picture in the center. So I've begun to build a little bit upon what they already had in there, which is a lot of basic stuff. Maybe not all 29, but you know, however, I can still build on it myself, and that's what we should be looking to do. Now, one of the congregations, Order Ami, which is a congregation located in Georgia, they created the crisis team, and their crisis team provides a support system, direction, and leadership for local and community at large during a time of crisis. The crisis team closely monitors the latest news and updates from federal, state, local government in order to make informed decisions concerning the community due to the crisis at hand. They work closely with the board of Order Ami to take protective measures to ensure a safe environment is provided for worship. And they have them at different levels. While they're at level 1, emergency or shelter in place, they offer support with follow-up calls, some emergency foods, and development of an action plan in order, or I'm quite sure they already have an action plan in place based on what the situation is, and then they share that. And that's where the importance of communication goes. Now, these steps that they go through, and anyone that needs more information at the end of this, you can contact us at ICVC ServePro at protonmail.com. You can see it right there at the bottom of the page. Now, for the different congregations that may not be as prepared or do not discuss this, I would admonish you to reach out to your leadership or to someone that's in contact with leadership to begin doing this. There are many different organizations too. They have the Israelite Men's Association. I'll see if I can look it up before we close out. Matter of fact, there's a group that's having it, I think it's in Union City, Georgia. They're going to be doing like a weekend of preparedness exercises. Matter of fact, this particular weekend, I just found this out recently, they're having something this week for the sisters, and then next week is going to be for the young sons and the brothers. So these are the kind of things that we should be familiar with. And the purpose of having an action plan is to clarify what resources are required to reach your goal, to formulate a timeline for specific tasks needed to be completed. Action plan gives a framework for thinking about how to mitigate efficiently and safely. And I would admonish you to perform periodic drills within immediate families and within your communities. So for instance, if you mention this to your rabbi, to whatever your leadership or whatever that chain of command is, and you feel that they're moving not as quickly as you like for them to move, I would say that you start with self. If you're a single brother or sister, start looking into these type of preparations for your home. If you have children, if you have people that are have a disability, mobility impaired, it's important to know how to plan, because if everyone is healthy and can move and is mobile, maybe you can get out the house in 2 minutes. If you know it's going to take you a little more time because family members in a wheelchair, crutches, has a cast, whatever the situation is, you may have to set your plan for a half an hour prior. So these are the different things that we need to look into. So you start with your family and then work your way out. Be that example. Now, myself, I'm a proud member of the Jerusalem Brotherhood, Dimona, Israel, Kingdom of Yah. And we also too, in our pioneers, when they left out, we kind of got a head start on it, because when our pioneers left out in 1967 and went through the experiences they went through in Liberia, and then ultimately the early days in the Holy Land as we returned, they learned how to prepare. And I say this too, what I'm getting, if you're reading it while I'm speaking, that's fine also. So I can go through it quickly, but I just wanted to mention over this that the foodstuffs or items that we have listed here, these are items that have a almost minimal likelihood of spoiling in times of, say something happens, electricity goes out, and now you don't have the convenience of refrigeration or other situations that could happen. So, they ask that you rotate your water, nuts, seeds, grains, water juices, milks, and batteries every 3 months. So for those of you who have maybe set something up in your household already, hallelujah, excellent. Just know you rotate these foodstuffs. These foods, as you can see, are based on 3 ounces per person. Cereals, crackers, oats, couscous, nuts, dried fruits, fruit bars, dried vegetables, mushrooms, dried everything. All you do is add water. Peanut butter, large container drinking water, 1 gallon per person per day. Bottled juices, Tetra blocks of tofu. Now the Tetra blocks, that's that go to the stores, and even some soy milks, almond milks, and the various sesame milks, and they come in this like heavy plastic outer coating, and it looks like aluminum. I don't think it's aluminum, but it helps keep everything airtight and it doesn't spoil. Vinegar, baking soda, concentrated, and they do have baking soda that does not have aluminum in it. You look that up, and as you can see, and anything else we can add at the end when we do our Q&A, whatever suggestions is welcome, are welcome. There's some additional equipment that you would need: the flashlights, battery operated LED lights, rechargeable power banks, lighters. If I need to go back, I will return back. You can take a snapshot of this or the list. Like I said, you contact us. Now, these are some essential documents, and I have to thank the Essential Documents Committee for sharing this information with us. We've had presentations on essential documents. And like I said, this is applicable. It doesn't have to be an earthquake. It's just that even if a basic emergency is an emergency. Emergency is if you live in an apartment building and the people above you flood everything out in your apartment below. And so these essential documents need to be put, or make copies of your originals, put it in plastic coverings, birth certificate, social security card. This is vital information that you need if you had to leave your home and had to reestablish yourself somewhere else. Reestablishing yourself in another country, back to the motherland. You're going to need a lot of this information. Some of you may not, but better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. If you have pets, their records, their current prescriptions, if you have an older dog or a new dog and it's on medication, your real estate Your real estate information. If you own a home, you need those papers. Personal property, you need those papers. Wills, trusts, powers of attorney. Your business, if you have a business, how can you prove you have a business? Because during times of emergency, people pull all kind of scams and whatnot. So you want your documents in place to protect yourself and your family. Medical, vaccination records, records of current prescription, medications, dosage, fingerprint records, if possible. I know I don't have any fingerprint things, but maybe you do. So your financial documents, copies of the front and back of your debit cards, and all this information. Sure, you can put it online, but what if you're in a place where there's no electricity and you're unable to charge up? You should have hard copy as well as utilize your smartphone. If you're not utilizing it that way, you don't have a smartphone. You just have electronic paperweight. Now, some things people don't think about. Financial emergencies. Start an emergency savings account. For now, starting now, you start an emergency savings account. In this day and age, where we're talking about the financial reset that they keep talking about in the United States, and even with the situations they have with the Brexit situation in the not so Great Britain, if you don't have money on hand and they shut down the banks and say they need your money to save the country, or they tell you how much you're allowed to take out from the ATM machine, you're gonna have a problem, So you start a savings account. Saving even small amounts of 5 or 10 a week is a good place to start. Make a budget to estimate monthly income and expenses. Reduce debt by making regular payments. At least, and of course, this is not mad money. This is money for an emergency. So there should be never an excuse, unless it's an emergency, to have to go into this fund. We have our esteemed Rabbi Benjamin on, and he is also a financial counselor, and he may want to speak to you, mention some things. This is someone you can reach out for to assist you if you need it, to know how to really put this in play, okay? Consider using Emergency Financial Aid First Kit, or EFAK, EFFAK, as a guide. You can look that up. You just put that in the search on your computer, and you save it. And this, because by having a plan in place, you will be better prepared. The more prepared you are, the less stressed out you will be. Okay. Impending emergencies or whatever they may be, we know we're in a season we are, as Hebraic people, Hebraic minded, spirited people, we are in the season of post-judgment. Judgment is flipped now. However, we are in the environment where we can still catch some of what the adversaries, people, are going to catch. So we have to be prepared. Where we at? Protect your property by taking photos and videos of your household items in case you need to repair, replace, or rebuild after a disaster. I used to be a New York City Housing Authority official, and I know personally, having to inspect apartments after a flood, after ceiling falls in, whatever the situation is, and the people have to leave their household after a fire, and the people that aren't prepared, it's really a shame. So once you know this that we're sharing here, there is no excuse. Contact a qualified financial counselor or coach. Contact local organizations and nonprofits that employ qualified and nationally certified counselors or coaches. Like I said, let me finish the sentence, on coaches to receive guidance on how to organize your finances before and or after an emergency. Again, we have, there are many others, and it's a time, if we don't have a list, to put together a list of those people we can reach out for to assist us with this. During the emergency, you use your savings for purchasing essentials like food, gas, temporary lodging. Contact credit card companies and lenders to learn about payment options if you're in that situation, to avoid late penalties. Emergency charges, normally if you speak to them and don't act like nothing's happening, they probably won't charge you, or they'll understand. It's just like even coming out of this pandemic or this plandemic, mortgage that I'm paying on, I was given a certain amount of months where I didn't have to pay anything, you know. But then now, then after a certain amount of time of rebounding, then they let you start back up again. Let's see. To list current expenses and negotiate with lenders, okay? You can reach out for assistance through going to disasterassistance.gov if that's needed. Afterwards, you go back to disasterassistance.gov to find out if you qualify for any other financial assistance relief. Visit Disaster Recovery Center in your community. And again, we set our plans based on our geographic locations. If you're in California, you know, earthquakes, fires, a lot of that. New York, it could be the weather, could be electricity, or we talk about the East Coast, it wouldn't necessarily be New York, but different areas, mudslides. The more connected we are with our congregations, our jurisdictions, the better off we will be. The communication link is really important. We cannot do this all alone. That's not how we are created. You research tax breaks you might qualify for on your situation. Turn off all utilities to save on expenses if you're unable to live in your home. Why have your electricity on if you can't be there, you know? Once again, if you need time to take a picture of these lists, I'm not going to go through all of these, but this is connected to the Stop, Think, Observe, and Plan. The shortened versions of different items that are relative to communicating with people. BOL, bug out location. If you're communicating properly with you have a chain of command of someone's assigned to reach out to our elders, to our families, what needs to be done, what's going to happen next. These are just acronyms that shorten the conversation, because like if you can't speak a whole paragraph sometimes, because if your power is short on your phone or something, or you're in a location where there's no electricity, short, concise communications is necessary. This is some of them. Here are some links. Once again, you could take a picture of this, or if you want to go through it and zip through the various parts that you want to see that apply to you, you can do that. Will and Dispose, it's on Facebook. Just put Will and Dispose in there, it'll take you right to the site. And they have a lot of really great items, and we have to support each other. While we have our sister that does the Will and Dispose, there's some sites also here that sells bug out bags and equipment that we need, that we might need in that situation. And again, some of them give you some documents that you can put together yourself. And once you get them, like I said, put them in plastic, put them in your bag. So if you have to leave, I have one, like I said, right at my door, inside the closet as I go out the door. I put my email address down because I'm also a certified integrative wellness and life coach. So if someone needs to speak on different things, you have concerns, worry for somebody else, reach out to me. Also, you can contact us at ICVC Serve Pro Survival and Protection at protonmail.com. And Toda, we are at the end of our presentation. Toda Yahweh, Toda Rabah, Kasadim, for your presence and participation. Please continue to support us in all our activities within the ICVC and within our Hebraic family, wherever we may be. With that, I thank you all for attending, and at this time, we are now open for any questions, Q&A. We can unmute it this time, and let me know how well or how not so well I did. Do we have any questions, any comments? I don't know if I have to unmute you, but if that's the case, then I will do that. Let's see. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourselves. And I see Moray, you muted yourself. So everyone got it, huh? So we're set now, right? We all prepared.
Hallelujah. Can I be heard?
Yes, you can.
Y'all high. 3 times. Excellent, Adoni. Appreciate the message.
Toda.
Word was received loud and clear. I would just want to chime in again and just say that, yes, you did an excellent presentation and giving the information. The information is key, but implementation, of course, is really where rubber meets the road.
Okay.
So I pray that the family does take heed to, if you will, the warning. Preparation is so important. Before it rains, it's best to have an umbrella. But when it starts raining, you're looking around for one.
You ain't never lied. So at any time now, like I said, you can unmute. And if you have any questions or if you have any information you would like to offer up, it's all welcome. I'll have to start calling out some names, huh?
Probably will, Ishkael. Excellent presentation. Excellent. This information is very much needed. I just pray that the people take heed and prepare themselves, because we know the path that this place, this earth is on, and we need to be prepared. We as a people always finding ourselves behind the 8 ball playing catch up. We need to be prepared.
Absolutely.
So I give you kudos.
Toda. I mean, we did this together. So, and I must mention that Moray Amram, he is also a member of our survival and protection team, along with being a member of our essential documents team. And I wanted to say too, I wanted to share it, but it didn't, and maybe I'll bring up what I did mention earlier. Someone shared with me this little video clip of this Euro-American woman, and she walked up to this child that the boy couldn't have been more than 4 years old. And he knew how to lock and load, cock, and pull a trigger on a weapon. It was at a gun show. And this woman, she was just so pleased as punch. She was like, oh, he's so darling. It's just, and can our children do that? Within the proper understanding, because I was in ROTC. I got to go to camp 2 summers in a row. I know how to use the M16 and M60. I learned weapons appreciation is not for me to use. I don't have any weapons in my house at the moment, but no matter where, we should have an understanding of the different things like that. These shootings that have occurred, one of the shooters, he had on the goggles, the virtual goggles. So when he walked in and he was shooting these people up, he didn't see them as humans. They look like a video game, like you playing Call of Duty or something like that, you know. But we need to be aware of these things. There's just been a lot of different information that I've come in contact with lately, and it's built into us. We've been infected with the apathetic gene, and we have to come out of that. You know, with what's happening right now, I cheer it, because this is really no surprise. The creator said that this was going to happen, you know, to those who choose not to follow the Most High. I mean, you know, this is being prepared. There's so many different, the Proverbs, the Psalms, the different stories tell us to be prepared in so many different ways. And maybe, you know, when you understand, you know when and where to cross the street or cross the road at. But if you have no idea, if we're not connecting with each other, if your temples are not taking this seriously, we have, and I appreciate the numbers, because some people, and we have 16 people. Now, other people that had other things prior planning, that's different. And if they reach out, that's great. But those that didn't think it was that important, you know, now you know. Now, I have one of my brothers on here, our man of valor, Natanya, who lives in Demona, and he has stories. He knows, he was part of those early pioneers, and the necessity of being prepared, learning. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. This stuff, these things that are going on right now, we do not have to reinvent the wheel. The stuff is in place for us. We've been told already, we know there's nothing new under the sun. And the story, if you don't do anything, then that's what you're going to get, nothing. And you'll just be a crying victim, and we can't do that. So with that, I thank you all for coming out. I think before I close, I'm going to find this, article, this group, because it's about us sharing information. Like I said, we have many different communities, and we do things a little different. Well, we were told we were a mini speckled bird, but we have to learn to do this stuff together. That's one of the biggest issues that, you know, challenge is not even an issue, it's a challenge. And we're going to be successful in doing, in getting through it. So I'm not even worried about that. But some of us are going to get through, but I would love for it to be all of us, as many as possible. Again, please share this information with your, with as many people as possible. Within the next couple of days, it will be listed. It'll be on YouTube, so it could be reshared. And even if you want to set something up with your congregation to sit down and have a watch party. You know, we do a lot of other things on the internet. I think that would be a great thing to do. But I want to show as soon as it comes up. Another thing that I want to mention that we have to look at as far as being prepared, how to prepare our own food. We have a nutrition committee here as well. It's part of the strategic planning group. And there are many other types of groups that we have. Okay, I found it. All right. This is Family Survival Weekend. Like I said, this particular, the 15th through the 17th. But if you want more information on that, like I said, they're located in Georgia. But you can get more information and maybe possibly start something in your area. So, does anybody want to take a picture of this? I'm going to bring it down, take it down. There's a phone number on the bottom left there, and there's a Gmail account too. Family Matters Survival at gmail.com. And there's a telephone number there too, 404-290-7670. All right, once again, Toda Rabah for your presence. If you could, I'd like to ask, okay. Toda, Shakadia reiterates that it's important for this type of information. Oh yeah, I also want to mention the sister that does the Wilderness Bowl. She's out of Ohio. And we also have someone else in Georgia also that does bug out bags. And if there's anybody else, please share that information. ICVC Serve Pro at protonmail.com. With that, I ask
Ishkael,
King.
I just want to also reiterate that if any participants that joined late missed, if you joined late, you missed a lot of information. But reach out to myself, Amram Maury Amram Lewy, and I'm going to put my phone number and email in the chat, and also to Ishkael Maganiel, as well as the ICVC Serve Pro at protonmail.com for any other information. We're going to put this, we're going to post this presentation, Kane, and also we're going to post this presentation on YouTube. So therefore, if you missed anything, you can catch up on what you missed. Toda Rabah.
Absolutely. And I would also like to say too that for those that someone left their email address, I'll make a copy of it prayerfully to go through. But if you could send your email addresses for those that are interested in getting a copy of this, receiving a copy, that once again, ICVC Serve Pro at protonmail.com. At this time, I would ask, is it Rabbi Benjamin, you still on? If you could close us out, are you able to? All right, so he must be moving around. Okay, Morey Amram, please close us out. Toda Rabah.
Hey. Yehovah Eloheinu, Elohe Avotenu, Elohe Abraham, Yitzchak Yisrael. Modim Rabim Aleka, Bishulet Ko Devarim She Atala Tatelanu. Ki Anachnu Yodim Ata Elohe Tov Lanu. Yehovah, our power, and the powers of our fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yisrael. We give many thanks and praises unto you this day and each and every day. We thank you for our lives. We thank you for the work that you are doing in our day and time, and even causing us to wake up. We thank you for the spirit of discernment and the willingness to return to you, to do your laws with all our heart, soul, and might. We ask that you will bless us, each and every one of us, keep us from all hurt, harm, and danger, all evil, seen and unseen, ourselves and our families, Yah. We ask that you will even put the spirit of togetherness upon us so that we can bring forth a new day and a new feeling of unity amongst us. We ask these things in thy most high and thy most holy name, for we cannot lift hand or foot without you, Yah. We need your blessings. We ask you to quicken us and send healing unto the house of Yisrael, no matter what we're suffering from, whether it be a mental illness, physical illness, spiritual illness, and even financially. We ask you in thy most high and thy most holy name, Yehovah Zevaot, Yah of hosts, we ask you for your blessings now and forevermore. We praise you. We trust you. We love you. Help us, Yah, Bavakusha. Bless us and keep us. Cause your face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. Lift up your countenance upon us and grant us peace. Hallelujah.
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 Yakai.
Yokai.
Yakai.
Yokai.
Yokai.
Yakai.
Yokai.
Yokai.
Selah.
Yokai.
Good talk, family.